Okay, today we're going to be doing the garlic green beans, which will be doing the boiling technique and the saute technique. We will need a pot of water, okay, and make sure it's boiling, as well as you will need to make sure it's seasoned. So you'll add a little salt. You want to make sure that the water is seasoned like it's seasoned soup, so seasoned water, not that it's just salty water. So you want to taste it. And then as long as it tastes seasoned, it's all ready to go. And then you'll have your green beans. These are all processed. Before you receive them, they look like this. This is the tail and this is the head. You want to take the head off. The tail though is edible, so you can leave those on. You can line them all up and take them off if you wanted to, or if you would like to take one at a time off, you can. So you can either do it like this or one at a time, however it works. You take these and you put it in compost. Okay, and then you have the tails are fine. Some fine dining places will take the ends off, but for today's techniques, you do not need to take them off. Okay, so go ahead and add it to our pile of done green beans. You'll also need minced garlic, and you want to finely mince it so that when it cooks nicer. When they're too big and choppy and inconsistent, it's harder to cook. So once we have all our green beans ready, we'll add it to the hot water that's seasoned and let it bring it to a boil. You need a colander with a bowl to take the green beans out. You can give the green beans a little stir. You'll also need to grab an ice bath, and I recommend getting ice but not adding the water till you're ready to put the green beans in the water. Okay, this way you don't need to keep adding ice. Okay, so green beans have been cooking for a while now. You'll notice that the green beans have turned from like a dull green to a bright green, and then all you have to do is taste it. Take one out, put it on the plate, go ahead and cut and taste it. And if it's good, you're ready to go. Now you also have to remember it needs to be a little al dente because you don't want to overcook it when you cook it in the pan. So once it's ready, I would drain it in the colander. Okay. Okay. The green beans itself should taste seasoned. And then you have your ice bath, which you want to make sure you season your ice bath. Okay, and that's the key thing for most people, that when they make ice baths, they don't realize that they should season the ice bath as well, because you have seasoned hot water goes into the green beans, and then you blanch it in unseasoned ice water, which causes all the salt to come out of the green beans. So give it a little swirl. I'm going to add the green beans. Okay, you can keep the same colander and bowl. I would give this a minute to cool, but not longer than a minute. Okay, so the green beans have been sitting in ice water for a little bit. All you gotta do is feel the green bean, and you can feel if it's cold or hot just by holding it. Once it's ready, all you have to do is put it back in the colander and bowl that you had. Try not to grab any ice. And the next step you wanna make sure you do is, if we're gonna saute, you want to, as we learned in our saute videos, that we need to make sure that the green beans are dry. So you want paper towels. Okay, and you want to pat them dry. And because this is a serving of 4, you might need a bigger pan, so, or do it in batches. So I will be doing this one in 2 batches. The key to cooking is always patience, which most people need to work on. Okay, so now we have our saute pan. We're going to turn the pan on, right? And then we add a little olive oil to coat the bottom of the pan. We also will know when the pan is hot by the viscosity of the oil, right? And we want to make sure we get these green beans as dry as possible. Okay, and then we have our garlic. So if I'm going to do 2 batches, I'm going to split them in half, and then I'm only going to use half the garlic. You might need to rinse your pan between batches, but you can use the same pan. So we have our oil. It's much looser than it was when we first poured it in, and then there's light smoke coming from the pan. So we can go ahead and add the green beans. You want a nice layer on the bottom of the pan. And you want to make sure you don't touch it, right? We have a lot of, when we first start cooking, we want to touch it and flip it every 5 seconds, but we're just going to let it be. We can always tell what the other side looks like by looking at the edge that's touching the pan, just like you learned in Sauté Week, but you can see that it's not ready yet. At this moment, you can do a little seasoning of the green beans, a little salt and a little pepper. And then we'll turn down the heat a little bit so you can see that there's flame. And the flame is caused by the water coming out of the green beans. And then you can always add the garlic at this point. And then give it a little stir and toss. Needs a little bit more oil. And then the residual heat should, if you have your garlic cut fine enough, the residual heat from the pan should be enough. If not, go ahead and turn the pan back on a little bit, but do not brown your garlic. This is as far as you want your garlic to be. Once it's ready, okay, you're going to take it and plate it in the plate. Put garlic on top, and then it's ready to go.